Ah, there we go. How's it going, Chief? Chief! That was the most bizarre story that I have ever read. I don't even know what to make of it. Again, those people that got attacked by a ninja were special op military members. I mean, do you get even more badass than special ops? Because I think like that's top brass. Like you don't get more badassery than that. It was 26 of them. Like even if you had 26 normal dudes, they could overpower one guy. It makes absolutely no sense. And I thought that initially it was like, okay, maybe they're in the building minding their own business, and it's like, just let the guy use his taijutsu on the door. Eventually he's going to tire out. But no, like this guy opened the two gates of life. He managed to power up and threw Earth style inside. It's like at that point you would think like, okay, let's tackle him. Let's do something about it. Is the sound a little bit low? It should be at maximum. Let me check it out. That got attacked for one guy. No, the sound is fine. Yeah, I mean, it was definitely a sneak attack. Like, he probably got +5 on his attempt to slice at the phone. Like, the ninja knew what he was doing. He sliced at the sergeant's phone. It's like, you're not calling for shit. You're not calling backup, boy. You're going to engage in honorable combat. I'm just... I still don't understand why the US government is hiring that guy. Shinobi. He's the shogun. The shogun. I think that's he is. Like, he's the shogun. One man, one army. Can you imagine if there were two ninjas? Holy crap. Anyway, should I tell you guys a story? I'll tell you a story. Tell you a story. You got Def talking to a cat. And Def asked the cat, did you come too close to the road again? No, they hit me on purpose. Cruel. This world seems to hate black cats. They say we are bad luck. So the cat was upset that the world is racist. But there was this old lady who has always fed me. Def, can I see her one last time? Of course. Here we have the house with the lady. I wonder where she is. She didn't eat a thing. And the cat says, I'm sorry. I couldn't say goodbye. I bet you didn't expect that. You didn't expect that, did you, chat? I'm a little bit quieter than the premiere. Well, just turn up the volume, man. I mean, everything here is at max on my end, so I can't make any more changes. What is up with people? Fix the sound, fix the sound. The sound is fine. Let me see the sound again. It makes absolutely no sense. I can hear myself. All right, so if you have sound issues, you need to stretch your arm all the way to the volume and raise the volume. There you go. Well, I don't know what to do. You're going to have to go through the stream the way it is. Everything is at max on my end. There's nothing else I can do about it. I'm sorry. So, okay, well, you know what? No stream tonight. I'm sorry. I'll have to figure out what's up with the sound. So, I apologize. Thank you all for coming. I'll see if I can work something out by tomorrow. But on my end, everything is at the max. Some people say that the sound is okay. No, I'm holding it properly. I mean, it's my lips are literally next to the microphone. Unless you want me to talk like this, there's nothing else that I can do. Everything is at maximum. So anyway, I'm not going to start yelling. If you can't handle the sound, I'm sorry. I'm going to try to see tomorrow what's up. OBS had a patch, so it probably messed a little bit with the settings. But on my end, everything is at max. It doesn't go louder than this. Volume is at max, so okay, whatever. Let's look a little bit at, and by the way, please inform other people in the chat complaining about the sound, because I'm pretty sure like others will join later on and they don't know. But tell them on my end, everything is at max. Nothing I can do. All right. This was on January the 26th. And you get the truth tellers of society, the anointed ones, which are fact-checking. Now, fact-checking used to exist as parts of mainstream outlets, and they would fact-check things that would make sure that a journalist doesn't embarrass themselves. So, for example, that there are 60 minutes in an hour, that there are 60 seconds in a minute, right? So if a journalist would say 62 seconds, the fact-checker would say, hey, look at this article, like this is wrong. I mean, they would fact-check like things that are really obvious. For example, the distance between New York and LA, like that type of thing. But it was to fact-check what the journalist is writing, not what people think. And it never fact-checked opinions. Now fact-checking is a political tool. And you're going to see how interesting fact-checking is, because no one is holding the fact-checkers to account. And the fact-checkers, like you can have a politician that the fact-checkers like saying the most crazy things. And then you have another politician that the fact-checkers don't like saying, in my opinion, fact-check, your opinion is wrong. The fuck? So here you have like people pointing out that Joe Biden Oval Office is fake. So social media users have shared photos of President Joe Biden in the Oval Office, claiming they provide proof that the office is a film set. The evidence includes a supposed change in wallpaper, alleged darkened windows, and claims that former president is walking in the background outside the office. So I don't understand why they had to fact check this. Like, who cares if the office is fake or not? Right? So Reuters decided to fact check, and apparently the distance between fact check and reality is due 6 months. Like 6 months, the debunking all the way to the reality. So here you have Biden, taking his booster shot, and you can see that this is a movie set. And the reason that the fact checkers are upset now is because, people are pointing out that, just because the movie is a set, that doesn't say anything about the shot. I'm like, dude, you are the ones that said that the movie is, that there is no movie set. That is literally the Oval Office. So you're telling me like random people on the internet figured this shit out, and now that you are being embarrassed and you have egg on your face, you're again picking on the people. But not to mention, like, why? I don't understand why they use the movie set. I don't know why they can't do it in the White House. I'm pretty sure there's a reason. Maybe the seat is already taken by Kamala Harris. Like, she doesn't like getting off her seat whenever the press is coming. Maybe that's the thing. I don't know. But it is weird. Can you fact check the definition of freedom? I don't believe people understand it anymore. Freedom is when the government tells you what to do. You have the freedom to obey the government. Hello, Julie. And hello, Yamachi. Debunked. Yes. I also think that Kamala is using the chat. Now, apparently, there is a tier list of villains. And I want you guys to tell me where the ninja belongs. So you have the Elder God tier, villains whose motives are hard to find fault in and arguably better than the heroes. Florida Man breaks into jail to hang out with his friends. I mean, this is Elder God tier of villain. Yeah, he just wanted to hang with his friends. Couldn't go to visitation, so he had to break in. Then you have the Gray tier. Reluctant villains who only do evil things because of the situation they find themselves in. Florida Man kidnaps scientists to make his dog immortal. And we're going to read this article, or maybe I'll talk about it tomorrow. I don't know, but it's very interesting. Like, he didn't want himself to become immortal. No. He did it for the dog. The dog is dying. I want the dog to be immortal. He should have gathered the Dragon Balls. He should have done what Vegeta was trying to do. And notice that all of them are Florida men. Like, if you Google Florida man, you're going to find very interesting stories. I don't know why. I don't know what DeSantis is doing to the people in Florida, but every now and then you're going to find, like, Florida man, and there's something bizarre. Like, Florida man throws a crocodile in McDonald's. You know, like that type of shit. Like, shit you wouldn't even think about. When would you ever think about kidnapping a scientist to make your dog immortal? Dr. Fauci. I love you, Dr. Fauci, but don't go to Florida. Like, someone might kidnap you and they go like, the dog, it needs to live. What if you'd have kidnapped Dr. Frankenstein, huh? Villains who are retaliating against misdeeds done to them, they may be seeking to change society as a whole. Florida man attacks mom's boyfriend with samurai sword over missing can of shrimp. Then you get the mid-tier, villains who are only obeying their nature and doing what they do to survive. And this is an example of the Florida man arrested for refusing to stop masturbating in Burger King. By the way, like, here's something that I find interesting. Left-leaning people, they're all about mental health, right? Like, big thing about mental health. It even has a month that raises awareness about it. Do they understand that public indecency and masturbation is a mental health issue? Like, I'm really curious, because I remember, like, feminists saying, oh, these men need to be castrated. Oh, don't make fun of autistic people. It's like, woman, like, pick one. Or there's, like, some mental illnesses that you like and some that you don't, because I would understand that, but still. And then you get the meh tier, villains whose motives are a mystery and seem almost insane at times. Ohio man arrested after trying to have sex with a van. How do you... Shit tier. Villains who are evil or lust for power. Florida man steals bird. Attacks Bob two sons. Burns down mobile home. That's definitely a lust for power. Can't watch Mier Kuro-chan. Florida has a law that makes all arrests a matter of public record and require courts to release information. Oh, the mystery is unraveled. Now I understand. Initially, I thought there is something in the water of Florida. Man, can you imagine if California would have the same legislation where arrests are a matter of public record? And then you'd have, like, California man, insert story here. I mean, we already got the one with the shinobi. Can you imagine what else there might be there? What type of person, like, who goes and attacks special ops? I don't understand. Jesus. All right. So, as you guys know, I'm learning how to drive. And I gotta say, like, mastering this is indeed a difficult and almost insurmountable task. But I think I can do a better job than this lady. Like, look here. I love how, like, at this point, you got the chick out with the doggo, and she's looking at it and she feels unsafe. Like, she picks up the dog, like, fuck this shit. It's like, oh my gosh, she's trying to parallel park. Wait, I don't get this, you know, because, like, here's the thing. For those of you who never drove a car, the problem is that when you're inside the vehicle, you don't get to have, like, this perspective. Like, when you're inside the vehicle, it's a little bit different, right? Like, things that looks as if you're about to hit them, you're not. But anyway, like, what exactly does it help if you do this thing? Like, this doesn't help at all. You know, if you get stopped by a cop and they tell you to walk the line, if you do it like this, they actually consider that you're drunk. I'm not security. Like, that's the reason they tell you to walk on the line. It's not just to see if you can walk properly. It's also to see if you're trying to use your hands to balance, that type of thing. She's not with Greta Thunberg, is she? I mean, this is probably a lot of pollution. Okay, is this another chick? Okay, two women. They're going to definitely fix it now. Ah. I mean, this is absolutely beautiful. But yeah. I guess the sorority thing is real. Like, she really gave her a hand. Build buyers reverse back beta? No, I need to find a different model. It's not build buyers reverse. Doesn't sound really good. Do you make marks on your windows as points when to start turning? I did that. Well, it's not my car because I'm driving with an instructor and it's his car and he didn't do that. Line up the front vehicle parallel, then turn back at a 45-degree angle and straighten out. Yeah, like the 45-degree angle is the thing that really bothers me because I don't have like a measurement in my brain. Like if it had an onboard touch display which showed the angles, that would have been gold. Kelly Miller appreciates it. Kelly Miller, did you know that a shinobi, a ninja, attacked 29 special operatives, like spec ops people in a military base, and they hunkered down and called the cops? Watch my video on my main channel, Kelly. You're missing good shit. It's from California there. Actually happened, I'm not kidding. He used Earth style. Men should hug each other like that. LOL, it's healthy. Kelly, I don't like it. Did it occur to you that men are smelly? Why the fuck would I want to hug another man? Jesus. It's disgusting. Ew, Kelly, I just ate. Hug men. Ugh. The only thing that I hug is my wife and my cat. My cat actually smells fine. The only thing that smells awful are dogs. Like, dogs are smelly. I would never hug a dog. I would never hug a dog, and I would never hug a man. I'm not even hugging my father. I give a handshake. Fuck is wrong with you? Touchy. Too much touchy. I don't get it. Don't touch. No means no. Oh, Abdi Muhammad gave me a super chat. I'm sorry, Abdi. Read all of them, please. Which one, Abdi? I read all. Men can hug close friends, but a man hugging a stranger... Dude, I don't hug. No. I don't feel the need. Plus, social fucking distance. Like, why are you wanting to kill grandma? Don't listen to Kelly. She wants to kill grandma. Just don't... Go away. Hugging. What an awful thing. Anyway. see what else we got. Do you know, this is probably going to be a video on my main channel. Do you know when people want to buy a gun and the government goes like, hey, why do you need an AR-15? Why do you need an AR? Why do you need a weapon? Why does no one ask the government, why the fuck do they need this shit? Look at this, it's like the final boss. You know what it is? It is Dark Souls music. Oh my god, I'm going to make that on my channel. I'm going to make a meme like that. Look at this. Why does the government need this? Like, what is the situation where the government, instead of just talking to people, it needs to bring this out? Am I the only one who thinks that maybe you shouldn't treat your people as your potential enemy? I mean, it's very bizarre, but okay, you know, fine. So when people ask, it's like, oh, why do you need AR-15s? I don't know, why does the government need that shit? The Prole Destroyer, yes. Oh my god, that is such a good name. The Prole Destroyer. Oh, I love that. I get back in your wage cage. That boss has max durability and a massive health bar. Crushes all level 1s. Jesus Christ. Mighty vanquisher of the disgusting lower classes. Oh. Yes, 100% front armor. Its weakness lies in the back. Like, if you can get behind it, that's the weak point. The Prole Crusher? The Prole Crusher 2000, yeah. Nah, Prole Destroyer, actually. Prole Destroyer is the best. That's for the unvaccinated. Jesus, Daniel. I think that video is actually, where they showed it off, is from years ago. But still, the fact that they have it, like when I actually saw it being deployed, I was like, what the fuck? Think of Grandma Citizen, yes. Let me tell you an interesting story. All right, let me give you another one. Finn Doherty was 6 years old when his brother was killed in action in Afghanistan as a British paratrooper. Young Finn decided he wanted to become a paratrooper and carry out his brother's career. Yesterday, Finn graduated from paratrooper training and was awarded the coveted beret. But it wasn't just any beret. It's the beret his brother wore, and it was given to him by Sergeant Major who had been in combat with his brother 11 years ago. Isn't this touching? Dude posting his W. Now, of course, there's people here, you know, like posting this. It's like, I generally don't get the people who do this. I mean, you do know that even if your nation's military is doing things like, I don't know, invading Afghanistan to bring them democracy and gender studies, without that military, your nation would probably be under someone else's military. I mean, for example, if it wasn't for the Romanian military, we would probably be under Ottoman-Russian occupation. I'm just pointing it out. Yeah, that made me emotional. Kelly Miller, look, see, Kelly thinks that I don't get emotional. That made me emotional. It's, look at Kelly. She says men can't cry. Look at this shit. Are you telling me that anyone would make fun of this guy like in this moment? Who says men can't cry? Of course they can. Crying all the time. You need a reason to cry. You can't just piss your eyes from nothing. You need reason. It needs to be emotional. I cry when watching anime, Kelly. When watching ushikushi girls in anime. Can he prove it was the said beret? Oh, I see. You'd be a skeptic, wouldn't you? You'd be skeptical. What about the Tim Pool tweet? Yeah, so Tim Pool had one of the dumbest tweets that I have ever seen. Like, it's not that I'm trying to start something. It's not that I'm being, against Tim Pool or something. But when he tweets something dumb, it is something dumb. So he says, no one who claims to oppose vaccine mandates, who then gets vaccinated due to fear of losing their job or money, actually opposes mandates. Okay, Tim. So if a guy tries to mug you, right, pulls out a gun and goes, give me your wallet. If you give him the wallet, that does mean that you endorse theft, Tim. The fuck is with that take? Like, if you're being blackmailed, like, do this or bad shit happens, and someone does it because they don't want the bad shit to happen, that doesn't mean that they agree with it. The fuck? Not to mention, like, again, millionaire Tim Pool, sitting in his mansion, lecturing the pros about how they should give up their job. How many times did Tim Pool not disagree with YouTube's TOS? I have a feeling, okay? It's just my feeling that if there wouldn't be any YouTube TOS, Tim would have very different takes on certain subjects. I can't prove it, but I think so. I think like Tim would have more interesting takes on a couple of issues if it wasn't for YouTube's TOS. How many times did Tim Pool spoke against things that he's not allowed to talk on YouTube? I think, and Tactical Droid going is with Tim Pool. Yeah, okay, I'll believe you, Tactical Droid, when you quit your job. Alright, it's very easy to do the armchair psychology. Because honestly, like, here's the thing, alright? I'm a YouTuber, so technically, I can't get fired over any mandate. But I'm not going to sit here and pretend that, oh yes, people should do X, Y, and Z when I'm not in that situation. It's so easy to talk on the internet and moralize. But when you're placed into... There was another example. There was like a guy on his show, and the guy was a parent. He had a kid. The kid played baseball. And he was saying, well, he doesn't agree with the mandate, but his kid, he wants to play baseball, so he has to take the shot. And Tim was like, no, you shouldn't. And I'm like, dude, you're not a parent, Tim. You don't have a kid who wants to play baseball. Like, you don't understand the situation. Yeah, it's what I'm talking about, Danielle. It's just, I don't know. I find it difficult to understand people who do armchair psychology. Like they sit in the back and their skin is not in the game, but they lecture to other people how they should behave. Okay, Tactical Droid, I'm going to show you that I can do it better than Tim Pool, alright? Like, look. Tactical Droid, listen to me, alright? If it comes between morality and quitting your job and ending on the streets, Tactical Droid, you should be on the streets. If you're not on the streets, Tactical Droid, I'm going to judge you, alright? Like here, I am dictating to you that a decent moral person who has morality and a compass is going to agree going on the streets. Even if it means your entire family ends up on the streets, Tactical Droid, I'm going to be watching you. And if you do not behave in the according manner that I have just described, you're a shitty person, Tactical Droid. Okay? There you go. Now Tactical Droid is happy. I became the person that he wants me to be. Right? It's easy to talk. It's easy to flap your mouth. I'll believe it when Tim Pool does it. Alright? I will believe it when I see Tim Pool risk something of his in order to follow his convictions. And then I'll be like, okay, yeah, fine. Oh, look, Tactical Droid is not a martyr either. So you want other people to be martyrs for you. I see how it's like. I understand that now. Man, this is something that I'm not able to do. Like, if I can't do something, I can't tell another person to do something that I can't. It just doesn't feel right. It kind of feels asshole-ish. Like, if it's something that you cannot do, why are you telling someone else to do it? In other words, hey, you sacrifice your safety so that I can live better. Don't fucking get it. I don't understand. I admit it, I don't have the guts of the Christians who were thrown to the lions. Few people do. Yeah, which is why I admire people that do, but I can't ask other people to do it for me. Like, imagine, in the Roman Empire, like, being a Christian that's hidden, like, you're not public about it, and you're encouraging other Christians to be open about it so they get thrown to the lions. It's like, bitch, please. I would do it if others would. Yeah, well, I don't know. I guess... there is some truth to it. Like, let's say you want to protest something. You're not going to be the only guy sitting in front of City Hall because you look ridiculous. But if there's like 1,000 people in front of City Hall, then maybe you can join the protest, right? Like, I get that. But the idea that you don't understand how difficult it is for a person to leave their job over some conviction that they haven't, you wouldn't do it. Like, you wouldn't do it, but you're encouraging others to do it. To me, it's like really weird. Anyway. Yeah, it's kind of like those people that were like, oh, if I was in Nazi Germany, I would do X, Y, and Z. No, if you're in Nazi Germany, you would zig heil with the rest of them. Get the fuck out. I don't believe these people. It's like, if I was there, I would call out racism. What do you think happens to all of the left-leaning people that end up in Californian prison? Where apparently you're not even allowed to talk with a member of the opposite race, because then your own race will beat you up, and the guards are okay with it. Like, no one talks about the racism in prisons. I don't know if you noticed that or not. Like, some of the most racist places in America are in prisons. No one brings it up. No one talks about it. It's not a problem. No TOS in prisons, right? So what do you think happens when, like, an Antifa member ends up in prison? They start being racist. I mean, there are so many YouTube channels dedicated to talking about life in prisons. And they say, it's like, look, I'm not a racist person, but when in prison, if I wouldn't do that, then I would be killed. So I had two choices. Either I'm a racist as for the time that I'm in penitentiary, or I ask for solitary confinement. There is no other option. You're not going to change the system. So my point is, like, there's always these people. It's like, oh, yes, if I was there, I would do X, Y. No, you wouldn't. Shut the fuck up. Anyway. I promise people I will show pictures from the marriage. So this is at the Orthodox Church. The ceremony lasted for around 1 hour and a half. And it was very tiring. These are the god parrots. Like they said it was very tiring to keep this candle up the whole time, like to keep it 1 hour. Now, a lot of people said like there was someone in the chat saying, "Oh my God, this is so luxurious. V, you're rich." It's not my church, for fuck's sakes. Like I don't own it. I also don't know if this is actual gold. Okay, like I haven't tested it. Maybe it's like made to look as if it's golden. I don't think this is actual gold. But this is how Orthodox churches look like, at least in Romania. Like most of them look like this. This is not a very wealthy church either. It's I wouldn't even say in between. It's kind of low tier compared to other churches. But yeah, it was a beautiful ceremony, and these were all the guests, all the people that were invited. And I'll have more pictures. Oh, and we got to wear these crowns, like it's part of Orthodox tradition as well. You gotta wear this crown. Symbolism regarding it, I'm not really sure. And then you have to go around the table 3 times, which is very difficult considering the dress. The wedding dress makes it very dangerous because you can always step on it and then you reveal her asshole in front of the whole guest to see. The church allowed us not to cover our faces during the ceremony, and no one got sick, by the way. It's legal in Romania, like the churches are exempt. But when we did the wedding at the city hall and we signed the documents, we had to wear the mask. A white tox is ballsy. Thank you, Bear. I appreciate it. Although last time someone gave a donation like that, their PayPal banned them. I think it was Milo Yiannopoulos. He gave that number to, I think it was like a Jewish reporter or something, and PayPal took notice and didn't appreciate it. I look like Travolta. I see. Ideological conviction is measured by how much you are willing to risk and or sacrifice. Yeah, well, here's the thing, Tactical Droid. Like, I'm willing to say that a person who shows conviction is, how should I put it, a virtuous person. But I'm not going to say what Tim Pool said. It's like, hey, if you don't quit your job, then it means you're for the... get the fuck up. Thank you, Gonzalo. I appreciate it. All right. Kelly, looky here. The IDF, the Israeli Defense Force, is using pink in order to symbolize Breast Cancer Awareness Month. Killer titties. By the way, does this look like a middle finger or is it just me? So the IDF headquarters, regardless of how I look at it, it looks like a middle finger. But now it's pink. Do you think it's facing Gaza? I don't know, but it's... I mean, come on, like the resemblance is there, isn't it? Even, like, look. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It can't be accidental, come on. And this looks like a Japanese role-play game arena, right? Like you go up and you have to fight the final boss on the top and you get to just climb, keep climbing, keep climbing. God-ass ugly building, I'm telling you that. What do you mean it's cool? It's a middle finger. Middle finger or phallus? No, it's not a phallus, because like the phallus would need to have the balls. There's no balls. It's just like this is the fist and this is the middle finger. At least that's how I see it. I need to make a video about this picture as well. It really bothers me that I'm a Romanian and I can comment on this picture a lot more than the Americans. So there's people that say like they posted this initially, and they said, "Oh, how can if yeah, like most people will find it okay with the picture down below, but not with the one on top, right? To show racism." I'll tell you the problem with the picture on top, and I'm a freaking Romanian. You're not supposed to point the gun at a person, and you're also not supposed to hold the finger on the trigger. It's called trigger discipline or some shit like that. Again, I'm not an American. But you're supposed to teach your kids common sense. Like, don't point the gun. But not to mention, like, when you're pointing the gun, like, because the idea is like, oh, yes, some people will feel threatened by the picture on the top. Yes, because there's a gun pointing towards you. That's why people feel threatened. Like this, on the bottom, the guns aren't pointing at the camera. But here on the top, like this gun literally right here, I can see the barrel. But other than that, like, no, I don't mind that these people have guns. Like, everyone can have guns. That's fine. But like, if you make a quiz and you would show that people feel more threatened by this, maybe it's the fact that they're pointing the gun towards the person watching it, which feels a little bit more threatening. I don't know. Why do you have to blame racism all the time? Point finger, that's okay. Tattoos on face. Yeah, the tattoos on face is also bizarre. Like, never do that if you want to have a job. Although, I don't know, in California, yeah, maybe they hire people with tattoos now. It was something that I learned even when I was a kid, because I lived in a more interesting neighborhood, and there were people that did tattoos, and it was like common knowledge, like, never get a tattoo on your face, ever. The only acceptable tattoo on your face is if you want to tattoo eyebrows. Like, you want to shave your eyebrows and then just tattoo some eyebrows there. I don't know why the fuck, but apparently like some people do that. Very bizarre, very weird. I don't get fashion. But yeah, don't tattoo your face. Jesus. So there were like a couple of things with tattoos. Don't tattoo on your face. Don't tattoo a woman's name, because you may break up and then you're going to regret it. And don't make tattoos in places that are going to change over the years. So for example, your belly. Like, you can get a tattoo on your belly, and then if you get fat or you lose weight, then the tattoo doesn't resemble what it initially did. So avoid those places. Like, get tattoos on your back, maybe on your arms, but never on your belly. You know, never on your thighs, because you may regret it. Permanent makeup. I don't get it. Like, I know women do that. I know they shave their eyebrows and then they put it there. It's very weird. It's like, what's wrong with your regular eyebrows? Are they really that bad? Not to mention, it's kind of freaky, I guess. I never seen a woman up close doing that. It's not a thing in Romania, but I know people do it in the West. Don't tattoo pop culture either. Yeah, that's a good point. Like, if you tattoo pop culture and then it starts being in vogue, you're going to just go like, oh, well, that's cringe, dude. Never get a tattoo that you can't cover up with normal clothes. 100% agree. I guess like there can be some differences to it. There were... I remember like having an ex-girlfriend, and she had like a small musical note on the back of her neck. And that's like fine, you know, it's no one's going to complain about it. But if you get like a big ass tattoo on your arm, and there's another thing, like girls tattooing their arms. That's very bizarre. That's a manly thing. It's not very attractive. Putting a big ass tattoo on your arm. Just don't do it. Do I and my wife sleep in the same coffin? No. No, sorry. They don't make coffins for two. Only when we want to make babies do we sleep in the same coffin. Arm tattoos are fine, says the conservative Muslim. Get the fuck out. Is that what Allah told you? By the way, are tattoos considered haram in Islam? Because In Christianity, they like some priests consider them sinful. Um, we consider the body to be the temple. So you're defiling the temple if you do tattoos. What does Islam say about tattoos? They probably don't care, do they? Then again, I don't think I've seen a lot of Muslims with tattoos. I don't think I've seen a single Muslim with a tattoo. No, they are haram. Okay, that answers it. By the way, like I like tattoos. Kelly Miller can't imagine caring about tattoos. Well, Kelly Miller, can you imagine liking a guy, like falling in love with a guy that does care about tattoos? I know being selfish is a leftist progressive thing, but for example, I also care about what other people care. If I want to go to a job interview, I wear a suit because I know the interviewee is going to care about how I dress. If I go on a date, I wear a proper attire. I mean, the idea of just being selfish and pretending the world doesn't exist, maybe it works in California now, but in the rest of the world, we still have what the leftists dread the most, and those are standards. Considering studying engineering in Europe, any thoughts on Latvia? Would Italy be better, or are you going to sim for Romania? So I don't know about Latvia. Italy is going a little bit fascist right now compared to the rest of the countries. I would sim for Romania, I gotta say, and especially because most universities here, they also teach in English, so you may have a benefit with that. Yeah, tattoos are forbidden in Christianity. But here's the thing, okay, tattoos, fine. The thing that I really don't get are piercings. Like, why on earth do people get piercing? There was this very interesting story. I think it was like 3 years ago. A guy got a piercing on his cock, and I'm like, Jesus Christ, why the fuck would you do something like that? And obviously, it wasn't done by a professional, because again, like, cock piercings, like, are those a thing? And it turns out that it got infected, right? So he goes to the hospital. He's getting a black cock now because it's really getting a gangrene. And the doctors say they have to cut it off. So the guy runs away. And then you find him at the 8 p.m. news saying that if he doesn't go back to the hospital, he may die. And I'm thinking, like, why? Like, just why? The fuck? Kelly says she doesn't live her life by that rule. Well, yes, people do live their lives like that. You know, like, the thing with the left is like, oh, yes, we should have no standards. Just be yourself. They don't apply that. What if you're a raging racist, Kelly? What if you're a person that feels the need to crack a joke every now and then that causes racismus? Are you allowed to be whomever you want? Obviously not. You know, you're not allowed to share opinions that are problematic. But we need to say, oh, yeah, so you can't say what you want. You can't just express your thoughts. But you can dress any way you want. Or don't dress at all, for that matter. I don't know. I mean, the left isn't against standards. They just have different standards. Like, for example, with the left, it's all about the pronouns. Like, the pronouns are becoming the most sacred thing imaginable about a person. It is the essence of a person. Is the human being itself is the pronouns. Like, you get to see certain people who commit mass shootings or whatever, and then the main concern from other leftists on Twitter is to make sure that no one misgenders them. Because it's like the pronouns, like the holy pronouns. And you're like, all right, fuck it, whatever, right? But the same people freak out if you tell them, hey, can you dress appropriately? Like, can you make sure that you're not dressing it? Oh, no, don't tell me how to dress. I dress however I want. You make sure you follow those pronouns, boy. Yeah, but you're not pro-freedom if you draw the line at jokes. You know, like, I would agree with you that racism is bad if it's actually an action. Like, you're actually doing something to a person because they're a different race. Yeah, I get that. But if you're if you're at jokes, you're literally thought policing. But anyway, V, does the government give you rights, or do you have natural rights that is different to you? And talk if you understand. Right, so this is the European school of thought versus the American school of thought. The European school of thought comes from the fact that we had monarchies. Under a monarchy, it was divine right. So God gave the king the right to rule, and everything in the country belonged to the king. So because of that, we believe that, yes, the government allows you rights, because from the government went from controlling everything, like controlling 100%, to releasing control. So the European school of thought is that rights are given by the government. The American school of thought is different, because you guys actually had a revolution against the European forces, and you started your nation from a libertarian point of view. And in your case, it's like, yes, if you go from absolute freedom, like the Wild West, and then the government encroaches, then the government takes away rights. But to answer your question, I mean, for example, the right to live is an interesting one. The government assures that you have that right, because if someone, like, it creates in the mind of the criminals the idea that if you murder someone, you can end up in prison. So there's that deterrent. And the government also is going to send police to do investigation and blah, blah, blah. So in a way, your right is defended by the government. But, you know, it's a philosophical question, I suppose. I like the American concept, though, that everyone has rights and the rights exist. But again, like, if you go to North Korea and you're an American, right, and you have your rights, when you go to North Korea, if the government wants to lock you up like they did to that American citizen, they locked him up and then they tortured him. Well, did he have rights or not? I mean, what can you say? You can say, I guess, like, the North Korea government didn't protect his rights or infringed on his rights. And still, I don't know. Rights are political concepts. Yes, I do agree with that. They are political concepts. Well, okay, Kelly, you have the freedom to engage in peer pressure, but so does the right have the freedom to engage in peer pressure to fat shame. They have the right to engage in peer pressure to tell people how to dress accordingly, right? Like that's the thing that I don't get with your leftists. Like, on one hand, you say you do have the right to peer pressure, but when others peer pressure you, you freak the fuck out and you say, oh no, this is not the type of society that we should live in. It's like, make up your mind. Do people have a right to peer pressure? Yes or no? Because I'm telling you this, like, when it comes to, like, mainstream thoughts, there's probably a lot more people. Like the life on the internet is very different than the life outside of the internet. Like, outside the internet, many people don't give a flying fuck about pronouns. We'd actually have the right to do whatever we want, but the government restricts those rights. Well, I keep giving this example because I think it's the best one, but let's say you live in an apartment building and it's 2 a.m. and you want to throw a party in your house and you want to play loud music, but the neighbor wants to sleep. So at this point, you arrive in a situation where it's impossible that both parties will get what they want. Either the neighbor gets to stay up and be bothered by the music, or you can't have a party. So it's not really that everyone can do whatever they want. When you live in a community of people, concessions need to be made. And I suppose, like, the way it ended is through negotiation and discussions and what's reasonable, right? So if it's 2 a.m., it's reasonable that people want to sleep. But if it's during the day, then it's reasonable that people should be allowed to party. Kelly Viller says that I do have the freedom to body shave in America. You know, like, that's the thing, I guess. you have the freedom to body shame. I personally wouldn't do it, but that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about like a lot of left-leaning articles saying that body shaming is the worst thing ever and people shouldn't do it. And it's like, okay, but then you can't go around and say, oh, we got the right to peer pressure. You and the neighbors sue each other and the court mediates. But okay, but the moment the court mediates, someone doesn't get their freedom. That's what I'm trying to say. All right, so Antifa Romania pointed out to an interesting fact. Facebook is down. So this is actually something that I noticed. My fiance was going through the wedding photos, and we were giving them to our parents, and all of a sudden, the Facebook Messenger goes down, and WhatsApp goes down as well. And she asks me, why is the internet not working? And I'm like, what? The internet isn't working? And then I found out, yes, like Facebook, WhatsApp, and Instagram are down. Hopefully they will stay down for a little longer. I'm curious how life is without Facebook. Soundproof your walls. Do you know how expensive that actually is if you want to do it properly? Stream from that underground homeless place. I don't know what he's talking about. Zook pulled the plug. Yes, Zook probably went fuck it. He pulled the plug. Maybe the CIA is raiding Facebook. That would be interesting. Fat shaming is the worst thing ever. Yes, but like, do you care about public health? See, this is something that I don't get, and Kelly Miller maybe can explain it to me, right? So fat shaming doesn't work. Why do you think that pressuring people to get vaccinated works then? Like, why does one that works and the other one doesn't? Because I'm a little confused. Like, what does studies show? By the way, like, there was actually studies showing that the more you pressure people, the more hesitant they get. That's another conversation. It's not good for morbidly obese people to gain weight. But I'm really curious. So if you fat shame someone, right? Apparently it doesn't work. But if you tell a person, hey, you're killing grandma, go to the center and get the Fauci ouchie, would that work, Kelly? Is that working? Because I'm curious. And if the answer is yes, why does one work and not the other? Like, how is one different than the other? Like, you're still shaming people about doing something in order to get healthy. So why is one okay and the other one isn't? Okay, look, I appreciate that answer. She doesn't know if it works or not. So that's a good answer. Anyway, I'll try to fix the sound of my microphone for the next stream. I thank you guys for tuning in. Hopefully you got a little bit entertained. And thank you for the super chats.